Welcome to the Kony MobileFabric video tutorial series. In this particular video, we will see how to enable analytics from Visualizer Enterprise and how to specifically enable application performance management, also known as APM, and custom metrics for the sample app. The sample app we will be taking up is an e-commerce app called Kony Store, which enables one to browse through product catalogs from Best Buy and view the products, the product price, and any reviews or ratings that has been given to the application. This specific scenario we will be looking at is searching for a product and seeing what products are viewed most by the end user, and also to see what forms and what path is being taken by the application user. So this lets us, for example, track items like which product is used more, what product sells, and so on and so forth. To begin with, let's download the project from GitHub. The sample, as I said, is called Kony Store. You can just put this URL in and download the project. Once you've saved the project, you can import it into Kony Visualizer Enterprise and publish it. Once the application has been published to your MobileFabric Console, you should be able to see it in the Apps tab in the MobileFabric Console. You can see the integration services that were part of the sample app also being shown here. And go to the Publish tab on the MobileFabric Console and publish the Kony Store app to the environment where you wish to connect the app. Now that we have the application loaded into the Visualizer Enterprise and the equivalent backend of the MobileFabric app published to the required cloud, we can integrate the client and the backend of the MobileFabric app so that the client and backend work together as a single application. Once the same has been done, you can log in to the MobileFabric Console by clicking on the login icon. On entering the user credentials, the MobileFabric backend tokens are imported into the Visualizer Enterprise. You can validate that the correct project is being pointed to by clicking on the MobileFabric tab and clicking on the Use Existing App to see which app it is being pointed to. So we can see that the Kony Store is being highlighted here, which lets us know that this is the application that it is pointing to. Once we have selected the correct app, we have to ensure that the client app is built pointing to the correct server in the backend. Click on the left icon for project settings and let us ensure that the project is configured properly from a build perspective. The ID in the application tab shows us what the application ID is from a metrics perspective, and the native tab here with the name shows what name shows up for all the data that is gathered from a metrics perspective for this application. Next, we go to the MobileFabric details and ensure that the MobileFabric environment is pointing to the correct server that you're trying to publish or point the application to. Next, we go to the Metrics APM tab and ensure that we select the Enable Automatic Event Capture. This ensures that the events that are selected below will be automatically captured for iOS and Android native applications built using Visualizer Enterprise. The events include navigational events like form entry and form exit, user interaction like when a button was clicked, when a device orientation changed from portrait to landscape, or when a swipe or a double tap or any gesture is performed on the application. It also enables you to track services, integration services like when a login service was called and when the response actually came by from the device's perspective. In addition, it also enables you to capture application performance in terms of errors, that is unhandled exceptions in the application code, as well as any crashes that happen in the application. Do know that in case of crash, the crash data will be sent only on the subsequent application launch. One other thing that can be noted here is there is a service doc preference in the MobileFabric detail, which can be used for setting how the application is initialized. By default, the fetch service document from environment is selected, which ensures that the application service document is basically the JSON which has the data of the application's ID, what services are there in it, what URLs it is pointing to, and so forth. So by default, it pulls this information every time the application is launched. It gets this information and updates it and uses the same. If you want the application to work even when it is offline, in the sense the application initialization should not depend on this, you can also go ahead and use the select service document file. Go to the MobileFabric console, click on the particular application, click on publish, and select the service document after clicking the cloud icon and saving this whole text as a .json file, uploading the same from the browse column here. So I've saved it as Kony store.json, and I can save it and click on finish to ensure that the application is initialized even when it is offline. Now the application is configured correctly for application performance management. The other objective that we intended to do in this tutorial is to send custom metrics from the application. The report section of the MobileFabric console and click on custom metrics. Click on the particular app for which we are trying to build the custom metric and click on add custom metric to enter a name and the data type and aggregation. The name is the key for that particular custom metric, and it has to be unique within the application, and the data type is used to specify whether it is a double or a string or a date, timestamp or boolean, so as to be able to save it in the correct data type in the database. And the aggregation is valid for numerical values, and it lets you have values like sum, average, lowest, and so on. Once you have defined the parameters for the particular application, you can save them. For this sample, we have created 4 parameters called product name, which is the name of the product that I'm trying to browse, the SKU, which is the unique ID for the product, the price of the product, which is prod price, and the user rating given for that product, which is prod rating. Once we have registered the custom metrics, the next step is to invoke an API to send the custom metrics. The API for sending custom metrics is called send custom metrics. The only parameters that it takes is the name of the form from which it is being invoked and a variable which has the array or the data which you're trying to send for custom metrics. The data should be in the form of key value pairs. So the keys that we defined was product name, product price, product SKU, and so forth. So we put the keys and then the value for them depending on whether it is a string or number. If it is a string, it has to be within quotes. If it is a number, it has to be without quotes, and so on. So once we have defined this and call this API, the data is sent to the backend. The data can be a single element or an array of elements. For more detail on how to send custom metrics, please look at the custom metrics overview. In this particular tutorial, because we are trying to instrument it for all the data that is being searched, same snippet is being added to a section in the product.js file in the product list callback, where we are adding this condition of iterating through the items in the collection and adding it to the JavaScript variable. So it is similar to the snippet that I showed, just it is taking the variable from the actual array returned by the product in this case, instead of a hard-coded value in our snippet. Once the data is added to the variable, we call the same API send custom metrics to push this content. Now that we have seen how to enable APM, how to define register for custom metrics, and how to send the same from the application, let us build this application for iOS and view some reports with this data. We can see the application launched here in an iOS simulator, and it is showing several catalog of products that it has. Let us go to a particular catalog called video games, and let me select Xbox One, and it shows me the list of Xbox options that it has, and I choose Xbox console. This gives me a list of all the products and the name and price and image of the particular product. Let me open up a particular SKU in it. It gives me the description and any user review and rating that it has. So now I've played through the application, I searched, I went to the product console, I searched for Xbox, and I viewed some of the data in it. Now all this data has gone to the backend, and I should be able to view it in case of on-premise immediately and in case of cloud after 15 minutes. Let's go to the MobileFabric console to run reports to view this data. So we click on the standard reports section in MobileFabric console and click on the event activity report to see what data what forms, for example, I've been viewing. Let me run it from Feb 1st to Feb 22nd and see how this app has been used. So I can see the various forms that I've entered and how many times I've viewed a particular form and so on. I can refine this report and say I want to look at or choose all the event types that I want to run to. I can group the events by sessions, devices, users, as well as add any extra condition that I want to run it for. Once I've decided on the data that I want to view, I can export the same as a PDF as well. The same data is also available for building custom reports from the custom reports tab here. The custom reports has the reports that I've built in the custom report section, and the views for building the reports called as ad hoc views in the ad hoc view section. Each report, custom report, can be stored in a shared area common to the account users or private, which is only visible to the particular user that is building the app. For this tutorial, let me pick up a ad hoc view called as Bose promotion, and let us see how it was built. Here we see a custom report that I've built for this particular Kony store application by using the product price and product name and just trying to see the count of how much of the product was viewed or sold for this example. So it is a very simple interface of just double clicking to add it to the column or row, and once you've added it, you can view the total count or items in the columns by modifying or pulling this icon here. I've also added a couple of filters for filtering the product price and viewing the product name. Any report that is built like this can be saved and run as a regular report from the MobileFabric Console in future. For more information on custom reports, please view the custom reports overview video. For more information on standard reports, please view the standard reports overview tutorial. For more information on Kony products as is, please visit developer.kony.com. Thank you.